video, I'll show you how to rationalize a surd. Now, the sample here is 2 over the square root of 2 plus the square root of 3. The first thing to do is the conjugate I taught in the previous video would become, you say, times the square root of 2 minus the square root of 3. And you write it again here, the square root of 2 minus the square root of 3. Next, you open brackets, and that will be 2, open brackets, the square root of 2, 3 over, so we have our 2, so we have our 2 times everything here, the square root of 2, here is it, minus the square root of 3, and you have it here. Up here as our numerator. We'll do similar thing for our denominator. You'd say root 2, open bracket, the conjugate, root 2 minus root 3, close bracket, plus root 3, open bracket, you write the conjugate again, square root of 2 minus the square root of 3, close bracket. Here's what just happened here now. I took the square root of 2 here, and I wrote it here, and I wrote the conjugate here inside the bracket, square root of 2 minus 3. Then I took the plus root 3, here is it, plus root 3, and I also wrote the conjugate in bracket, which is square root of 2 minus 3. Next, I'll open my bracket. I'll open my bracket from this start. So I say 2 times root 2. That would give us 2 root 2. I'll write that down now. 2 root 2 and 2 times minus root 3. That will give us 2. That will give us minus 2 root 3. Minus 2 root 3. And I'll go further to our denominator. We have 2 times root 2 would give us the square root of 4. And you have here the square root of 4. Take this back. The square root of 4. And I would multiply again, square root of 2 times minus root 3. You would get minus root 6, because 2 times 3 is 6, so you just carry your square roots along. Next, I'll rewrite my plus sign in here. So I'm having a plus sign here, and next I'll multiply these ones out. So I say the square root of 3 times the square root of 2. Remember, you just say 3 times 2 is 6, right? Then you put the square root at the top of it. So we are going to be having plus the square root of 6. Next, I'm multiplying the square root of 3 times minus the square root of 3. We are going to be having minus the square root of 9. So minus root 9. But the next step would now be, I'll rewrite my numerator. Everything here is your numerator, the one at the top. So we have 2, the square root of 2 minus 2, the square root of 3, right, as our numerator, everything over. Next, the square root of 4, if you remember, the square root of 4 is what? 2 is 2. So I'm writing my 2 down, and notice something here, minus root 6 plus root 6 is actually 0. So these both would cancel each other out. The both of them here would equals 0. because you have minus the square root of 6 plus the square root of 6. If you don't know how come about this, you could DM me and I would share with you some foundation of maths as regards sign manipulations. Next, minus, I'm going to indicate my minus here. So I've done that, and we're minus root 9 minus the square root of 9. The square root of 9 is what? 3. If you punch your calculator, so we got 3 here. Now our next step would be would simplify it further. So I'm rewriting 2 root 2 minus 2 root 3. Now 2 minus 3 will give a minus 1. And in maths, you can't leave your answer like this, so we'll take our minus sign to the top, to the numerator. So it becomes minus, open bracket, 2 root 2 minus 2 root 3. Or you could also leave your answer, you could also open this bracket, so you and you would have minus 2 root 2 plus 2 root 3. How did I come about this? Minus times 2 root 2, you get minus 2 root 2. Minus times minus, you'd get plus 2 root 3. You could also leave your answer as the last form. You could also leave your answer as just by taking in this minus 2 root 2, you take it inside and bring this one outside. So I'm going to rewrite 2 root 3 minus 2 root 2, and this will be our final answer. You win. Just believe.